Want to know the real reason most kids' activity centers fail to grow? Here's a shocking truth. It's not what you think. I've spent years helping hundreds of kids' activity centers transform their businesses, and there's one critical mistake I see over and over that's costing owners thousands in lost revenue and creating a revolving door of problems. And here's what's interesting. According to recent industry data, 80% of kids' activity centers are severely understaffed, operating at 71% of capacity. But it's not because there aren't enough people looking for work. The real problem? Most centers are stuck in the mindset that is killing their potential growth. They're trying to save money in exactly the wrong place. And I'm going to show you exactly what that mistake is and how it's hurting your business more than you realize. And most importantly, how to fix it. But first, let me share a quick story that perfectly illustrates this problem. Just last month, I was reviewing Google feedback for a gymnastics club that was struggling to grow. They had great equipment, beautiful facility, solid programs, everything you would think they'd need to succeed. But one review kept coming up over and over. I didn't pay this much money to have a teenage kid teaching my kid. That's when it hit me. This center, like so many others, was making the exact same mistake that's preventing most kids' activity centers from reaching their true potential. They were trying to save money by hiring teenagers instead of qualified adult coaches. Let's talk about why this is such a massive problem and why it's costing you more than you think. First, let's address the elephant in the room: cost. I know what you're thinking. I can't afford to pay adult coaches what they're worth. But here's the reality check you need to hear. You can't afford not to. According to the National Association of Education for Young Children, 78% of activity centers cite low wages as their primary recruitment obstacle. But there's more that is fascinating. Those same centers are operating at reduced capacity, literally leaving money on the table because they don't have enough quality staff to grow. Think about it this way. When you hire teenagers, you're actually setting yourself up for a constant cycle of turnover. They age out, they go to college, they leave for better opportunities. And every time you lose a coach, you're not just losing an employee, you're losing relationships with families, consistency in your programs, and money spent on training. It's a hidden cost that's killing your profitability. But here's where it gets really interesting. Let me share something I've learned from working with really successful centers. You know where you should be looking for your staff? Places like Costco, Home Depot, or even local restaurants. Why? Because these places are where responsible adults are already working part-time jobs. And guess what? Costco is paying $22 to $23 an hour for a part-time job. That number might make you nervous, but let me break down why it's actually the key to unlocking your center's growth. First, adults over 25 tend to stick around. They're not going to age out or leave for college. They're looking for stable, long-term part-time work to supplement their income and save for specific goals. This means less turnover, more consistency, and better relationships with your families. Second, they're reliable. They're not going to call off on a Friday to go out to a movie with their boyfriend. They have responsibilities, bills to pay, and a professional mindset. This means fewer last-minute schedule changes and more stability for your programs. Third, and this is crucial, they bring maturity and life experience that parents valued. Remember the Google review I mentioned earlier? Parents notice the difference. They're paying premium prices for their children's development, and they expect professional education and instruction. Now, here's where we need to address another crucial point: pricing. Many centers are uncomfortable with charging what their true value is because they're not confident in their staff. But here's the truth that most center owners miss. Parents aren't signing their kids up to save money. Let me repeat that because it's absolutely crucial to understand. No one signs their kids up for gymnastics, swim schools, or dance, or any other activity because they're trying to save money. They're investing in their child's development, their potential, their future, and they're willing to pay for quality. In fact, we have clients now charging $200 a month for a simple hour-long class. It's well above the national average of $100 to $120. And guess what? Their classes are full. Why? Because they invested in quality staff first, which allowed them to charge premium prices, which in turn allowed them to attract and retain even better staff. This creates a positive cycle: better staff, better service, higher prices, more revenue, and the ability to attract even better staff. But here's the really exciting part. When you have quality staff and charge appropriate rates, you can actually start building waitlists. And not just any waitlists that you can actually fill because you have the staff capacity to do so. So let's wrap this up with a simple truth. The real reason your kids' activity center isn't growing isn't because your marketing, your location, or your programs. It's because you're stuck in a cycle trying to save money by hiring teenagers instead of investing in quality adult staff. Break this cycle and you'll unlock the growth potential you've been missing. Start by looking at what other businesses in your area are paying part-time adult workers, match or beat those rates, then adjust your pricing to reflect the professional quality of your programs. Remember, you're not just running a babysitting service, you're developing the next generation. Your pricing should reflect that value, and your staff should be capable of delivering on that promise. But here's the thing, everything I've just told you about staffing won't matter if you don't know how to properly structure your pricing and programs to support these changes. In our next video, we'll show you exactly how to raise your rates without losing a single student. Click the video on the screen now and learn the 3-step process that's helped hundreds of kids' activity centers double their revenue while actually improving student retention.